Hey, how's it going everyone? I'm Em, welcome back to TechBlock. So today we're going to be pimping out my main keyboard here and potentially another keyboard as well, which is sitting right there, with the Phantom keycap upgrade set from Razer. And I'm going to be comparing this fancy Razer keycap upgrade set against a much cheaper version on Amazon that I myself have been using for a long time and I've been really happy with. And that is this set right here. I'll of course leave the fancy Razer one in the description down below, as well as this really cheap keycap upgrade set in the description down below as well. I bought these on Amazon myself and they've been great. They come with loads of extra keys and I really like the way they look. It's kind of like a clouded effect on the actual translucent part of the keycaps, and especially at nighttime, it just really makes your keyboard glow and light up way more than it normally would with, say, all white keycaps or all black keycaps. 2/3 of this cheap keycap are actually fully translucent. And then we have this fancy Razer one, which is also available in black or white. I have the white version here because my setup, I've recently changed a couple things around. I'm going for a black and white theme, as you can probably tell, and my keyboard now, the Razer BlackWidow V4 Pro, that's just been released and I made a video about it yesterday. This is an all black keyboard, and for a while I was using the Razer Huntsman Mini, then I swapped to another keyboard, then I swapped to another keyboard, and now we have the Razer BlackWidow V4 Pro. A very long name for a keyboard, but nevertheless, we're going to try and install these Phantom keycaps onto this one because it does come with upgraded RGB lighting. So the actual housing for each switch is now transparent, allowing a lot more light to shine through, something that isn't the case with the Razer Huntsman Mini. This one does not have transparent housing where the switches sit, so the RGB, it's still bright, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be as bright, I imagine, as this new Razer BlackWidow keyboard. Not only does it have upgraded RGB lighting for the actual switch housing being transparent, there's also underglow everywhere. So without further ado, let's get this Phantom keycap set from Razer that's super fancy and all unboxed and installed on this new Razer BlackWidow keyboard. The entire box that these white Razer keycaps come in is actually very nice. It tells you every single key that's in here. It comes with a keycap puller, mechanical keyboard stabilizers, optical keyboard stabilizers. It has translucent sides, supposedly universal compatibility, and should work, in this case, with English, US/UK keycap layouts. Included in the box, you get an actual booklet right here, and inside the booklet, it shows you how to remove your keycaps and how to install the new ones, I suppose. Then here we have the keyboard stabilizers and keycap stabilizers for mechanical keyboards. Okay. Then we have an optical keyboard stabilizer set here as well. Gotcha, that makes sense. I'm familiar with those. Now, given that this is an all-white set, reading the letters on these keycaps is not easy. Come on, man. Oh, boom, boom. We've opened something up. Okay, we've done it. To my surprise, these actually look quite nice. Okay, so it's been at least half an hour of me swapping out keycaps on this new BlackWidow keyboard and the Huntsman Mini that we have right here. We've pimped this one out with another keycap Razer gave me, the Sneaky keycap. This is being put to great use on the Huntsman Mini right here. But on the BlackWidow right here, we have the cheap keycaps over on this section, and then over on the function row as well. And then over on this side, where the macros are, I've added a very rare Razer logo keycap here as well. So when I press this, it'll open up the Razer Synapse application that controls, of course, all of the Razer gear that's in the setup right here. But anyway, the Razer Phantom set is here, of course, and on the numpad region. And I thought it would be nice to put both keycap sets on one keyboard. One, because I think it actually kind of works and it looks quite good in this layout. But two, it does give you a direct, side-by-side comparison of the two keycaps. Now, bear in mind, this isn't entirely apples to apples because, of course, this is like black keycaps and this is white keycaps. So one thing I noticed that is very different, especially with the arrow keys, like when I swapped all this section over, the way the light shines through the cheaper random brand keycap set that I have here, it's much nicer. You can actually read the lettering much better on the cheaper keycap set than you can on the Razer Phantom one. Everything just looks a little bit more blurry, and another thing, all of the lettering is actually much smaller on this upgraded keycap set, which again, personal preference I suppose, but I prefer to have bigger lettering. Like the way the keyboard comes stock from factory with the black keycaps, It has bigger lettering than these miniature ones that we have here. So yeah, Razer, if you're watching this, if you ever release a version 2 of these, I would personally suggest you do bigger lettering and just try to make it less blurry and more clear. Perhaps on the black version of the Razer keycap set, it's not as big of a problem, but on the white one, yeah, things just look not as sharp as, surprisingly, you know, this cheap random Amazon keycap brand that I've purchased the rest of these off of. Like, these look sharp and really nice. Another difference you might notice is the 50-50 split on the Razer keycaps, at least on this side of the keycap. You can see that the bottom half of the keycap is transparent and the top half is not. But for the alternative keycap set from Amazon, it's more like 2/3 are transparent and 1/3 isn't on top. But when we look at the side, the Razer ones, you see, they're more like a 2/3 transparent, 1/3 not transparent on the other end of the keycap. A different design, not a, I wouldn't say a worse or better design really, it's just different, but you know, something to keep in mind. I do still think these look ever so slightly nicer, but in terms of how the switches feel and their overall build quality, the Razer keycaps appear to be textured and they just feel much more premium and nicer quality compared to these being like a smooth plastic finish. But you know, if that's what you're after, it is kind of down to personal preference once again, then I'm sure you'll be very happy with these. But the Razer ones just do take the edge in terms of build quality and just how they feel when you're actually using them. And if I go ahead and move the Razer Huntsman Mini keyboard beside this one, you can see the clear improvement Razer have made with the transparent switch housing and how much nicer, I would say, the LED lighting looks like on the BlackWidow version 4 Pro in comparison to the Huntsman Mini, which in this case does not have transparent switch housing. Therefore, from this angle, from this direction of the keyboard, you cannot see any RGB. And if I turn the camera so it's facing the back of the keyboards, you can see on the Razer Huntsman Mini, all the lights look super bright. And of course, they look very bright on the BlackWidow version 4 Pro from this angle as well. But not only do they look bright from the back, they also look brighter from the front than they do on the Razer Huntsman Mini, which at the bottom here you have pretty much no illumination. Unless it's really dark in the room, then you can still see some light bleed through there. But if RGB lights are your #1 priority and things to look bright and good, yeah, this keyboard right here from Razer, the new BlackWidow version 4 Pro, which I've probably said its name dozens of times in this video, it looks awesome, man. With the underglow and everything, this is a nice keyboard, especially with these keycaps. I would say, depending on what you want your setup to look like, I don't think you can go wrong with either keycap set. It's just kind of a shame that given that it's a Razer keycap set, they did not include the macro keys. With all that said, thank you ever so much for watching as always. By the way, for those thinking that, is this like a wireless keyboard you got here? No, this is actually a wired keyboard. We have an angled USB-C cable plugging into it there, running underneath the keyboard through the mouse mat, and then through the table, we have the actual grommet right there. And then of course, through lots of cable trunking and J channels, it eventually makes its way to the back of the PC right there. But no, it's not a wireless keyboard. It would be cool if it was. But with all the underglow, I think it has somewhere in the neighborhood of 38 underglow lighting zones all around the keyboard. So if this was wireless, yeah, your battery life would be like 10 minutes long. With all that said, everything in today's setup, of course, is linked down below for you, including the new keyboard and the keycaps and the mouse mat. Everything's down below there for you in case you want to go pick anything up from Amazon or the Razer store. But yeah, hopefully today's video helped you out and maybe gave you some ideas on how to pimp out your own mechanical gaming keyboard. Doesn't have to be this exact one, of course. It's compatible with probably most mechanical gaming keyboards out there, both for the Razer keycap set and the random Amazon one that I found. Yeah, they should both work with just about any mechanical keyboard out there. But yeah, I'm gonna see you guys in another video soon. Until then.